Welcome everyone to a new part of What If the Saiyans Were Revived. This is the start of a brand new adventure for Bardock, King Vegeta, Goku, Vegeta, and the rest. If you like this sort of content and would like to see more, then be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss another video. The next part in this series will be up on Sunday, so tune back in for the conclusion. Anyways, let's begin with the story. Following the battles against Broly and Paragus, King Vegeta has moved to Earth with his eldest son at Capsule Corp. It's strange. Vegeta assumed that his father would mellow out while living on Earth, but in fact, the opposite of it has happened. King Vegeta has fallen into a deep state of depression and darkness. He's bitter about having to give up his position as king, and now he has to be a commoner. Oftentimes, he butted heads with everyone in the family, not only Vegeta, but Bulma and little kid Trunks as well. Meanwhile, on planet Vegeta, Tarball is the new king, along with his brother, though Vegeta mostly just works remotely and assists Tarball whenever he needs help. He is a gracious king, and much more understanding than any of the other ones. However, not all is well in planet Vegeta. There are two factions forming from the Saiyans. One, the elite, and the warriors. The ones who did not get the Super Saiyan God form, nor perform the God ritual due to their impure hearts. They are against the new kings, as both Tarball and Vegeta disallow taking over planets. These Saiyan warriors have remained loyal to King Vegeta, and want to continue to dominate the weak and maintain the current caste system on planet Vegeta, that of the elite, mid and low-class Saiyans. Though they go by many names, they are mostly known as Vegeta's Sword, named after the old king. Another faction begins to form as well though, one made up of low-class Saiyans, with few warriors and non-combatants, who, despite not being as strong as the other ones, gained the God form since they had pure hearts, and took Goku's teachings to heart when it came to self-improvement and finding a new path. They see Vegeta and Tarball as the true rulers, who are improving the quality of life of all Saiyans without resorting to violence. There have been whispers about this faction being known as Kakarot's shield, but overall everyone seems to be changing on planet Vegeta, and it's noticeable for Tarball. Much like King Vegeta on Earth, they've started to become agitated, angry, not just the loyalist, but all Saiyans on planet Vegeta become more aggressive than usual. Because of the political turmoil, it's clear that the tensions are rising. Bardock and his squad continue to train, trying to achieve Super Saiyan Blue and teach Broly how to control his power. Raditz joins in as well, learning to use Super Saiyan and master the form, though he is jealous of Broly at first, not only because of his immense strength, but also because Bardock trains him, something he never really did for Raditz. He constantly challenges Broly, though the stronger Saiyan only ever ends up confused. Raditz would often act pompous and brag about his time as a soldier in Frieza's army, which intrigued Broly. Besides Vampa, he had never been to any other planets. Over time, they start to become something of rivals and even friends. Their time with the Bardock squad continues like this for a while. However, their training is interrupted one day by King Tarball requesting their help. Tarball realizes that there is some elite Saiyans that are still displeased with their new trajectory of the Saiyan race. Not only that, but this faction is also growing by the numbers, and things that look like riots are beginning to form. There have even been reports of spies using strange new powers. He thinks there's a problem. Thus, Tarball asks Bardock to go to villages and cities, speaking to loyalists and convince them to stand down. He was a hero for the Saiyan race after all. Surely they'd be more willing to listen to him than anyone else. Bardock thinks this is such a drag, but he's willing to try. Bardock goes to investigate in a pub near the king's castle. There, they find a group of elite Saiyans. He tries to reason with them, tell them that the king is doing the right thing, but they're not listening to him, and in fact, retaliate and begin to fight him. While Bardock's still stronger, he realizes that these elite Saiyans are a lot stronger than they should be, a lot stronger than they used to be. A masked Saiyan appears, stopping the battle and apologizing for his comrades' attitude towards the situation. He tells Bardock that they will leave now. Though Bardock asks for his identity, they disappear before he can say anything. They return to Tarball to tell him what happened, leaving the king worried. They will soon announce that the Saiyan caste system will be no longer in place. This means the lines between elites, middle class, and low class Saiyans will be meaningless. It's an old antiquated system anyways, but the rising tensions between the classes continue, and now there's battles going on in the streets. Tarball makes sure to contact his brother, asking him, Goku, and Gohan to come over for when he's going to announce the new regulations on the caste system, and they all agree to come, but when the day arrives, none of them show up. They're all worried, but they don't have any time to go look for them. Gine tells everyone that it'll be okay, that they can handle whatever happens. And thus, Tarble begins to make the announcement, but while he's speaking, other voices begin to ring off, some familiar ones. Some elites begin to yell at Tarble, asking him why he hasn't done anything about Paragus. Just a month ago, he had escaped, and all the Saiyan elites began to blame him. In fact, that was the turning point for the middle-class Saiyans, who began to support the elites as well. One particular Saiyan steps forward, the one that was wearing a mask. His evil aura expands, something that Bardock recognizes. All the Saiyans he fought at the pub had the same exact aura, something purely evil. The Saiyan declares Tarble a fraud of a king, and that it's their duty to uphold the Saiyan philosophy of the strong dominating the weak. The masked Saiyan declares that he and his brethren will now commence a rebellion to kill King Tarble, so they can lead their people to their true destiny. Red Miasma begins to surround the Saiyan crowd. As his aura opens, everyone clutching their heads in pain, feeling overwhelming urges to kill. Some Saiyans like Bardock and his squad are able to retain their sanity and fight back against the urges, but others begin to overload in power, unwillingly transforming into Super Saiyans. Raditz is nearly able to fight back against the corruption, but his feelings of self-doubt are amplified, and he eventually breaks, rampaging as a Super Saiyan. The ones that retain their sanity have no option but to transform as well into Super Saiyan Gods to control the crowd. Bardock goes off to protect King Tarble, while Gine follows him. Despite his protest, she refuses to leave his side ever again. Bardock fights the king in the middle of a battle against the masked Saiyan in the castle's throne room. Although Tarble went through the ritual and did access Super Saiyan God, he's no match for the masked Saiyan. Gine hides behind a pillar, while Bardock arrives just in time to kick the masked Saiyan in the face, saving Tarble. The mask cracks open, revealing the man behind it, King Vegeta. Bardock's Super Saiyan blue aura reflected on the broken mask. He thought the masked man would be Paragus. He never expected it to be the king. Tarble questions his father why, but the thick, red miasma continues to ooze out of the castle floors, shattering the windows. Gine, Bardock, and Tora look in terror as King Vegeta announces himself as the true ruler of the planet. Behind Bardock, he hears another voice. This time, it is Paragus, telling him that he told him he'd be back. Bardock assumes that they are the two behind all this chaos, but King Vegeta shakes his head, telling him that they serve a greater cause this time. The two evildoers turn into Super Saiyans, their aura shining in black and red. Outside, the rest of the rampaging Super Saiyans roar as their eyes shine in red, with the same reddish-black aura enveloping them. It's an all-out war, as King Vegeta declares the greatest Saiyan civil war. All the Super Saiyan gods continue to battle, but it's revealed that Broly himself is beginning to struggle with the mist, his aura also being consumed. Meanwhile, Bardock and his squad continue to be beaten by Paragus and King Vegeta, as well as his forces. Bardock yells at Gine to save Tarble, who's severely hurt, and take him to Earth. King Vegeta tries to blast the girl, but Bardock rushes in towards him, with Gine finally teleporting over to Earth. The only person she finds there is Piccolo. She asks where the hell everyone is, that they need their help. Piccolo shakes his head, telling her that Goku and the others are currently in the future, dealing with something about Goku Black or whatever, but they'll be back soon. Gine tells Piccolo that they need to heal Tarble, and he agrees, but he can't do it. He tells her to look for a power similar to his own, finally locking into Dende and teleporting over to him. On planet Vegeta, Bardock rushes into the king, crashing against the throne. The Bardock squad and the rest of the Super Saiyan gods are losing the battle. They are severely outnumbered. Bardock continues to fight violently, but he's eventually knocked through the castle wall and into the battle scene outside. King Vegeta tells Paragus to finish off the low-class scum, that he needs to stay inside and make sure that preparations are ready for their master. Paragus nods as he flies outside the castle. Bardock lands close to Raditz, who grabs him by the throat. Paragus laughs as he arrives, asking him if he really thought all the Saiyans could change, to look at his own son, that no one like him could ever change. But Raditz is blasted away. Paragus' head snaps back to look at the newly arrived Tarble, but he wasn't alone. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, even future Trunks, Goten, and Trunks, they had all arrived to save the day. Gine rushed over to Bardock, telling him that sorry she was late, but that she told all the Sea Fighters what was going on as soon as they returned from the future. Bardock was confused by the mention of the future, but didn't question it. They needed their help as much as they could. Vegeta is furious and rushes off to confront his father at the king's castle. Vegeta finds his father looking over the balcony in the castle, watching the war increase in bloodshed. Vegeta asks his father why. Did Earth mean nothing to him? King Vegeta chuckles, saying that yes, of course it meant something to him. It meant that he was changing. It meant that he was becoming weak and soft. He yearned to go back to the savage warrior ways. That's why when Paragus contacted him, when he started feeling that strange power, he offered to lead the way once more. he knew it was his path. The king continues to tell his son that he has no idea how humiliating it was, the despair of not being able to follow his warrior ways. But Vegeta says that he knows that feeling too well. He sold his soul many years ago, and he still feels Babidi in his head. In doing so, he became a shell of a man and nearly got everyone killed. Without another word, Vegeta powers up into Super Saiyan Blue, telling his father to stand down or else. But King Vegeta chuckles, saying that no real Saiyan would ask. They would simply make him do it. The father and the son charged towards each other, the battle raging on, but on the outside something terrible was happening. Future Trunks continued to battle down on the floor, trying to help Broly, but the red mist continued to surround him. He was trying to fight it off, but to no avail. His hatred, his pain began to surge. All he could see is Zamasu, future Gohan, the androids, Bulma, everyone he had lost. The entire universe. He had failed. Suddenly, he blacked out. Nothing but a red aura surrounding him. Goten and Trunks asked him what was going on, but he simply slapped them away. Future Trunks was also corrupted. Bardock tells the kids to get away from the mist, to fly up. They don't know how to stop it, and now they have the raging Future Trunks to take care of. Goku, Gohan, and Bardock continue to fight against the wave of Berserker Saiyans, including Broly and Trunks. The battle between Vegeta and the King is taken outside, where Future Trunks stands by King Vegeta's side. Vegeta tries to tell his son to calm down, that this isn't him, but King Vegeta says that it's exactly who he is, that Trunks is more of a Saiyan than his father ever was. This infuriates Vegeta, who continues to try to fight back, but his son's power is too much. The Berserker Trunks slams Vegeta down to the ground, where the king stands above him. King Vegeta grabs his son by the hair, and with another hand he begins to create a Ki-ball. But this was no regular Ki-ball. He began to explain that the Saiyans are the most powerful race in the entire universe, but that it is time to ignore all the gods and embrace their animalistic side. The Ki-ball expanded. King Vegeta was creating an artificial moon. The king laughed, saying that blood's waves would give a rise to a new breed of Saiyans. He threw the artificial moon up to the sky. Unlike the regular ones, this one was also consumed by the evil aura, turning red in the process. Right after King Vegeta threw the artificial moon, he threw his son right after it. Vegeta crashed onto it. The sound of glass shattering sounded off, followed by the roar of an Ozaru. Everyone looked back, even the Berserk Saiyans. They couldn't believe it. But even without a tail, the amount of blood's waves caused a transformation in Vegeta. No regular Ozaru, a golden Ozaru. Vegeta crashed back down to the ground, shaking the planet. His roar caused other Saiyans to get pumped up, looking up to the moon, them too becoming Golden Ozaru. It was a whole army of great apes. Bardock and his squad know that there's no chance for them to win, even as some of them transform into Ozaru as well. The Golden Ozaru continue to fight, with only Bardock, Goku, and Gohan being really able to help out. Broly remained in front of everyone, in its Berserker Super Saiyan state. He was even more dangerous than all of the Ozaru. It was a losing battle for the Z Fighters. Even Goku's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken was useless in the face of this many Super Saiyan Ozaru. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Goten, as well as Bardock and his squad, fire a huge blast that consumed a good portion of the Ozaru, many of them being defeated. But just as they thought they had gained the upper hand, they felt a strange presence. They looked over to the castle. It was shaking, and out of it, a huge aura erupted. The castle broke apart. Nothing but rubble left. All of the battle stopped as they turned to see who had arrived. His steps created earthquakes, and even the Golden Ozaru and all the regular Berserk Saiyans kneeled behind him. King Vegeta declared the new arrival as Cumber, a Saiyan warrior of old, one of the truly evil Saiyans that had been locked away in Planet Vegeta after the Super Saiyan God battled and nearly defeated all of the evil Saiyans. After the battles against Broly, he had been freed from his slumber, and his aura began to corrupt all of the Saiyans. That's why King Vegeta was becoming more violent, why the elite seeks to return to their primal ways. But none of that mattered. All Goku cared about was helping his friends. But Cumber wasn't going to let the battle continue just yet, because the true power of the Saiyan hadn't been unlocked quite yet. Cumber's eyes glowed red as he growled, "Arise!" He lifted his hand up, destroying the artificial moon, and as he did, all of the Ozaru started to become smaller again. But as they did so, they began to take control of the Ozaru transformation. The red mist around them consumed them. They were undergoing a brand new transformation. The mist slowly dissipated, and Vegeta was the first one to step up. His body had undergone an incredible transformation. He was now covered in fur. He had a tail like long ago, and his hair had grown. This was no Super Saiyan Blue, no Super Saiyan God. It didn't even look like regular Super Saiyan. Goku didn't know what to call it. He simply whispered, "Is this Super Saiyan 4? All of the Saiyans that had turned into Ozaru began to transform as well, the entire army becoming Super Saiyan 4s. Thus, the battlefield was divided. One side, the Super Saiyan Gods, and the other, the Super Saiyan 4s. Thank you so much for tuning in to this new part of What If the Saiyans Were Revived. I really hope you guys enjoyed. It was a lot of fun to make. And a big thanks to Professor Chimp, who was the co-writer in this story. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SmugStickDB. And of course, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the Super Saiyan Legend, Super Saiyan God, and Ultra Instinct members of the channel. With a special thank you to the Ultra Instinct members, Wayne Antoine, Super Kami Mewtwo, and Neo Whitcomb. Thank you so much. This channel just wouldn't be around without you guys. Thank you to Wayne Antoine, Eric Dragon, Super Kami Mewtwo, Neo Whitcomb, Sacred Saiyan, Phil J. Akir, Pizza Hut Kitman, Orlando Castellano, Hannah Rowan, Sir Justice, The Real Samuel Randall, and Zachary Croy. You guys rock. Also, before I forget, we have a shop now that's linked in the description below. There's some merch there that supports the channel and gives you some cool swag. Anyways, this has been your boy SmugStick, and until we meet again, see ya!